The whole film was quite emotionally heavy for me. Like, this was the first time I was constantly in touch with my therapist too, because there are things that Jyoti and Ashu are going through which I could not never imagine as Sanya. So I had like no reference. This was when I was shooting for photograph, and that character really stayed in my system for a very long time. And I think if I was taking therapy back then, I would have like had those healthy boundaries. कुछ में मैं अपने आप को creatively satisfy कर पाऊंगी और कुछ में मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी, so I'm going to like not be harsh on myself. But I don't have that fear since we are demanding right representation on screen. We are getting that, and I think we as audience should not stop doing that.
Okay, an actress who has constantly been pushing the boundaries in the rightest way possible, Sanya Malhotra, joins me today for a conversation from the Bollywood Bubble. Welcome to Bollywood Bubble, Sanya, firstly.
Thank you so much, Bhavna, for a lovely introduction, and thanks a lot for taking my interview.
Oh my God, I am honored to hear that from you. But like I mentioned, I genuinely believe that you are someone who has constantly been pushing the boundaries with the kind of roles that you have picked up. Speaking about Love Hostel, again, a very dynamic, different sort of a role. So what is it that really strikes a chord with you? Like whenever a script comes to Sanya, what is it that you look for it to connect with you and for you to say, Acha, I want to be a part of this?
I think the first thing that I keep in mind while reading a script is my gut feeling, because I really trust it as an actor. And all of us do have that, that intuition that you have when it comes to your work or anything in your life. So that is something that I trust a lot. And with Love Hostel, I read the script in 2020 during the pandemic, and I could not keep the script down. I read it in one go, and I knew that Red Chillies and Drishyam was backing it. I knew that Vikrant was on board. Shankar sir was directing it, and that also in totality gave me that confidence as an actor that I have to do it. I have to be a film like. And while reading it, I was so blown away with how beautifully Shankar sir have like covered this topic of I would not like to box the film in crime thriller. It has more than that. It has romance. It has these two star-crossed lovers who are on a run, which we have seen before. But I think Shankar sir have a very different way of seeing these characters. He writes all his characters, good or bad, with so much empathy and love. And that really broke me. Like while reading it, I had empathy not only for Ashu and Jyoti, but also for Dagar, played by Bobby sir. So I could not say no to a film like Love Hostel. और वो confidence मुझे पहले से ही था कि this is going to be good and I have to be a part of it. I had a feeling कि this is going to be a good one for my career.
I want to know, was there anything in particular which was very challenging for you? Because of course I haven't seen the challenging part as yet when it comes to the movie, because मैंने अभी तक सिर्फ 20 मिनट देखा है. But I'm sure there are aspects which are challenging in the movie ahead. Do you remember any day in particular?
The whole film was quite emotionally heavy for me. Playing Jyoti was like, though Jyoti is very like confident, because she has that conditioning. She has seen her elders, especially her grandmother, behave in a certain way, which gives her a confidence and that privilege too. But it was definitely quite heavy for me. And I remember readings I remember our first 2-3 readings. एक reading के बाद हमारा look test था, and in the morning after that one reading I could not sleep because I could physically feel the pain of what these two people were maybe feeling, and I could empathize with Jyoti and Ashu so much that I could not sleep the entire night. The next morning also, I didn't know, I could not pinpoint why am I feeling so uneasy. While sitting on the makeup chair, Shankar sir came and he was like, "Are you ready for the look test?" And I started crying, and he stopped everything. He sat with me for an hour, and he just listened to me blabbering about how much I feel for them. I told him that I feel like protecting both of them, and together we chatted. So the whole film, like, it was definitely emotionally a very tough one for all of us. But thank God, like, I had, like, this was the first time I was constantly in touch with my therapist too, because there are things that Jyoti and Ashu are going through which I could not never imagine as Sanya. So I had like no reference point or things that I could not imagine. कुछ चीजें ऐसी हो रही हैं फिल्म में in which I had to completely surrender for a character like Jyoti.
Yeah.
था, but I'm quite it's a gratifying thing for an actor जब वो boundaries थोड़ी blur हो जाती हैं and you start living your character's life.
You know, I'm so happy that you touched upon this subject, that you were constantly in touch with your therapist while you were shooting for this, because I can only understand. When you were talking, I suddenly remembered of a scene which I saw wherein, in flashback, if I'm not wrong, wherein your brother in the film is sort of hitting you. Is that right? You know, I know it's a reality for a lot of people. When you had to perform those scenes, what did you keep in mind? What was your process like? Because I know it can be emotionally taxing, very taxing.
I think as actors, we, as I said, you have to induce these emotions. It's not always healthy because I'm sure like we imagine a lot of stuff about our character's life, which can or cannot be related to our personal life at all. And those emotions and those imaginations that you have created in your own mind stays with you. Like this has happened with me before, and that time I didn't have a therapist, or I was still learning about acting. This was when I was shooting for Photograph, and that character really stayed in my system for a very long time. And I think if I was taking therapy back then, I would have like had those healthy boundaries as an actor ki this is her life and this is mine. I can't like merge them together. Now I understand that, but sometimes I like to like go थोड़ा wild and कोई बात नहीं, थोड़े induce कर लेते हैं, आज emotions क्या चला जाएगा वैसा type.
Taking only that thing forward, I mean keeping the wild part of it forward, I feel that you've made some really risky decisions. In conventional tone अगर बोला जाता है तो उसे risky कहा जाता है at some point, but they have all worked for you. You have, in the last 3 films only, if I consider, you have told relationship stories, but all are so different and so unique in its own way. Like a Meenakshi Sundaram is so different. Love Hostel deals with something completely different, and Pagglait again is about relationships, but in a very different context completely, right? Do you steer towards all these kind of characters? Like, these kind of characters which are challenging, complex, yet very vulnerable, attract you?
I think it's such a beautiful question. I've never thought about, maybe it could be a reflection of definitely the characters that I play are definitely has some sort of a reflection of my own life and my own belief systems. But it's crazy that, as you said, these last, even Ludo for that matter,
exactly,
relationship. But ये बड़ा common topic भी है FEC in Bollywood. Relationships, and people like to watch relationships and love stories, and these are all love stories which are completely different. Like Pagglait was a love story with your own self. Like it's about self-love. It's about self-acceptance and finding your own self. And then Meenakshi Sundareshwar is about long-distance relationship and a marriage and how to work through all those difficulties that you have after getting married. And then again, I'm marrying this guy and I'm facing different sort of
challenges.
So definitely वो एक तो ये popular topic भी है, and maybe I'm creatively drawn to love stories. I don't know.
As long as we get to see you perform all these amazing roles, I think I am all the more happy that you do all these stories. Because like I mentioned, भले ही वो relationship stories है, but उसमें भी it's different in every angle, and that is wonderful. Very few people can do that without getting typecast. Do you ever fear getting typecast? Because वो एक actors के लिए ना बहुत बड़ा challenge हो जाता है, especially in the global age that we live in. OTT के वजह से the options are so much. Do you ever fear कि what if people box me that it's Sanya, she'll do only out of the box sort of films, हम उसके पास regular stories के साथ नहीं जाएंगे? Do you ever fear that?
It has never happened. I think I have done various type of roles and genres. तो मुझे लगता है कि वो अभी तक हुआ नहीं है. I have one fear as an actor, and that is to repeat myself in any character. तो वो डर भी है मेरे अंदर, but that is something that can be worked out, and that is something that I know that I can't control, because there will be characters in which I might repeat myself. So I'm going to give myself that leeway also कि कोई बात नहीं, कुछ में मैं अपने आप को creatively satisfy कर पाऊंगी और कुछ में मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी, तो I'm going to like not be harsh on myself. But I don't have that fear that people might box me. वो होने नहीं वाला, because I think things are changing in the industry. People are writing very different sort of like scripts and characters, and as you said, because of OTT and theater releases, there are so many platforms out there that we as creators are able to experiment with the content that we are making. So that is never going to happen. I think we have more work, and it's definitely a golden period for like actors and creators today, because there's so much that you can do with the content.
True. Firstly, I also want to congratulate you. Pagglait received an award recently, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there. Asian Film Award.
Yeah, for screenplay. There.
When you see such scripts receiving the due credit that it does it make you feel validated as an actor as well?
Definitely, it gives you some sort of validation. But the validation was from the day one, because I knew it in my heart that this is a story that I want to be a part of as an actor. These are stories that I used to crave as an audience growing up, These are women that I wanted to see on screen. So when I get an opportunity to play a woman like Sanya on screen, I will take it no matter what. Because you saw it twice, but I also like met people who could relate to it. I was just talking to someone before you, and they said that something like that happened with them and they could like connect with it. Something very similar happened in my family with a very close one, which I never knew about. And she told me after watching the film that something very similar happened in her life too. So, and I just feel very grateful that I'm at a position and I have this job where I can tell stories and maybe stir some sort of emotions and make people connect with the characters that I'm playing on screen. I feel very grateful यार. तो मेरे को day one से पता था कि ये story बहुत special है. Obviously, I will not take the credit for the story because it's Umesh sir's baby. And I think he has written Sandhya beautifully. The script is so beautifully written. और सिर्फ संध्या ही नहीं, स्क्रिप्ट में सारी औरतें इतनी सुंदर तरीके से लिखी गई हैं. They're all women that we see in our families. And I really admire that about his writing, and he deserves many awards for Pagglait, I think.
I hope so too, because I feel that it also embodies and empowers us as women. When we see all these representations online, on screen. But do you see the things changing when it comes to the budgets that are being allotted to films which are led essentially by women? Because I know it's a very cliched topic, but unfortunately we still have to talk about it because things are slowly changing. Do you see that change as well, Sanya?
I have seen the change. It will take time, definitely. I'm not going to veil it in any way. Time to bahut lagega, but I can definitely, we all can see a change. As women, we can see that since we are demanding right representation on screen, we are getting that. And I think we as audience should not stop doing that. As audience, as actors, this is my responsibility too, to pick up characters that I want other women to be inspired by. But मेरे को लगता है it's everybody has to come together, not just women, but it's gender neutral. Everybody has to come together and ask for the right representation on screen.
True.
और वो जब तक होता रहेगा, वो change भी धीरे धीरे होता ही रहेगा, चाहे वो budget में हो या writing stories about women that you can relate to, stories about women that you actually see in your day-to-day life. तो वो चेंज होगा धीरे. आई एम वेरी पॉजिटिव कि कहीं ना कहीं से चेंज आता है, एंड आई एम ग्लैड दैट आई एम अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट चेंज एज एन एक्टर.
Thank you so much, Sanya. All my love to you. I hope that Love Hostel also gets you the same credit and due which all your other films have done, and I hope that you continue to push the boundaries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.